Hey, everybody that's getting on early, we'll start here in about 5 minutes. There's Maria. Hey, Maria.
Oh, hang on. There we go. Okay.
I'm going to make you co-host right now.
Okay.
And I start with the announcements. You can watch the people to admit, and then I'll do it when you're talking.
Sounds good. I am finishing up this PowerPoint, so I'm going to be working until probably about 3 minutes after. I just got to put the animal slides on.
Yeah, it's okay. I can watch it for the most part until I'm showing my Zoom screen. And then if I start showing my Zoom screen, I can't see that admission thing, but I don't have to do that first.
Just holler at me when you're ready for me to start admitting, and then I'll jump back in my video.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Hmm. All right, guys, we got about 2 more minutes. Maria and I are working on things here in the background for a second. There's always one more thing to do. When you're getting on Zoom early, then it's like waiting for paint to dry. It's like, okay, hurry, get on. And then, okay, now we got to wait to start. Hey, Maria, I have a quick question. Are you free?
Yes.
Just real quick. Sometimes, because I always have to do this on my cell phone to be able to show the screens on the Healy. Sometimes am I cutting out, or does it sound like the sound is okay?
You know, there have been times. I've noticed that when I'm talking to you, if I have you on speaker, you seem to cut out here and there. but if I put you off speaker, then I don't ever hear that. So, but when you're doing it, when you're showing it, usually you have your phone on off or you have your speakers, you know.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
wondering times when there's it's also sometimes when you ask a question or you're at the end of saying something, I'll be unmuted and I'll say something, but it doesn't seem like people can hear me say something. So I didn't know if it's like because I'm on a cell phone or what. I don't know if my computer Zoom would be any better, but then I couldn't show the Healy app, so it wouldn't really help me anyway. I have to do it on my phone.
I will listen for that more tonight and try to be more precise on that, but I have heard you cut out here and there, but I just thought it was just due to internet.
No, it's where I live. I have 2 bars on my cell phone service, but there's no way to show my Healy screen without doing it this way.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. I won't keep bothering you.
You're good.
I'm going to start the recording. Maria's still working on a little something, something in the background. Let me go to record and I'm going to, oh, it says we're recording. Okay. So I get to hear all that too. All right. So hey everybody and happy new year. We're excited to kick off the year. It was also nice, I gotta say, to take a little break. I was like, oh, it's Tuesday night, I don't have a call. Oh, it's Thursday night, I don't have a call. And I was like kind of like very joyous because I had like things to do around the house or I had other things I could work on, but I'm happy to be back on the call. Maria and I've been talking the last few days about some things to cover tonight. So we do have always like usual lots of to cover and some announcements. And the format tonight is we are going to make this 2 hours. So we'll have plenty of time to answer questions, we think. So we're going to have a hard stop at 7 Central Time. If you have questions and you want to put them in the chat box, then Maria or I can try to answer questions when we're not the one talking. Tonight, we're going to cover the new point system. I'm going to try to help you with some technical issues. We're going to talk about some announcements and dates and new things that I just sent out on the recent newsletter. And yeah, basically that's what our agenda is. And then you guys can ask questions or whatever you like. I want to start with some just announcements. So if you got my last newsletter, you saw that this Saturday, I'm doing a free workshop about detox. It's something I do for my clients anyway, so I just decided to share it with Healy people. It's no cost to you. It's just if you want to learn more about detox and cleansing the body. That's from 11 to 2 on this Saturday, and it's free and it's on GoToWebinar. And I'll resend the link before the end of the week. Second announcement is the following Saturday, Maria and I are doing a green laser workshop, which is going to be free also. And it's something that actually we wanted to include in the advanced workshop, but we didn't have enough time in that weekend to really add another 2 or 3 hours because we were already at a full 3 days. So we decided to do this separately. We also had some custom design stuff having to do with this laser that we had to work out. And this all started when I was in Boulder months ago. And it's like, now we're ready. Okay, so it's Saturday, January 16th from 11 to 2. We're going to talk about how to use a laser to work on like emotional and spiritual issues, different variations and things like just thinking outside the box of things that you can do. And anyway, if you attended either workshop, it might make more sense to you, but it's actually open to anybody that's interested, which brings up the next point. And the link was in the last newsletter. So all these links I'm talking about were in the last newsletter. The Tuesday calls is always the same Zoom ID. So just in case you don't get an announcement from me, we're going to be on Tuesdays unless I announce otherwise. The workshop this Saturday and next Saturday, both free. Both links were on the last newsletter. All you have to do is click to register and then go to webinar. We'll send you the link to join. They also send reminders the day before and the day of the workshop just to kind of keep everybody on track. Another announcement is Maria was able to set up a brand new website, and this is kind of going to have some questions, I think. So I'm going to try to state this as clearly as I can. We have a new prosperity group that most of you have heard us talk about already. We didn't get that out until New Year's Eve because there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that just took longer than it, longer than we had because we were busy. But we did get it out New Year's Eve, and the first group of people that signed up for January are already loaded and they're already getting broadcasts. Okay. Right now it's going to be every other day or so, but basically normally it's going to be every week. We're going to add to that prosperity group, and you guys are going to get tips and insights and stories and just stuff from us that we think that would be helpful. And Maria and I are going to alternate weeks on sending out information. You won't necessarily know it's from Maria or I, but that's what we're doing. We're sharing in the workload and giving you guys tips to kind of keep you excited, keep you enthusiastic about yourself, about, where you're headed, about coaching, about manifesting and all that stuff. The monthly is $39. And it's a continuation of the broadcast that we started for the advanced workshop group that also people could have signed up with that separately. And some people did. And but it's a whole new ball game. It's going into new arenas. I already have some new stuff that's going to be pretty cool set up in mind that I'm already working on. And it's just for your benefit to kind of support you in communication, relationships, money, prosperity, business, whatever your goals are. And so that'll be coming out every month. What Maria and I talked about a few days ago is we're not going to set you up on the broadcast just as a sample, but I am going to be sending out some of the stuff in a newsletter that has to do with what the people are getting in the broadcast and some of the support and emails that are just sometimes thought-provoking topics or homework or things like that, that the more you plug in and the more you apply yourself, the more you're going to get out of it, just like anything else. The other thing I want to say is that the people that did sign up for the advanced workshop, you guys already got it this month free. So you guys were carried into the new system. And that's going to end for you guys on January 31st. So sometime before the end of the month, if you liked being in that, you've seen some change in your life, and we've had lots and lots of testimonies, then please sign back up using the link that I sent out just sometime before the end of the month. You can wait till the last week to do it, but you want to do it for the February broadcast, so you're getting the new stuff. And I'm going to send you guys myself the emails and stuff that would go into the automated process once you sign up. So someone asked on an email to me today, well, if we sign up for the broadcast, does it hold our credit card information? Okay, we don't hold your credit card information. It's an automated thing, like in the computer cyber world, that does have your credit card information because it has to process the payment each month, just like any revolving charge or any automated payment thing is set up. But it's no different either than your utility company or anything that you have set up on auto pay. And it will charge you once a month, $39 until you cancel it. And if you want to cancel it, then you just cancel it and it stops that automated charge. When you sign up at the beginning, we need your full name, your date of birth, and your place of birth, which is city and state. If you were in the previous group, I already have that information. But if you were not in the previous group, we need that information. So what else? We're working on a pet seminar, a weekend on animals. Pets to me is dogs, cats, horses, things that you would have, like as a pet, your main animals. I don't know if we're going to go into goat and sheep, but people might ask those questions. Maria can add to that if she wants, but we're going to be announcing that very soon, the date. I don't know if Maria's in the background. If she came, we talked about it. Did you confirm a date, Maria? Oh, wait for her to pop back on. Okay.
Sorry, no, I did not hear back on to confirm the date, but we're kind of looking at that last weekend in January. I'm sorry, in February.
Right. So, so that's what we're working towards that. We'll see what COVID does. A lot of people have requested doing some live events, especially hands-on stuff, but that depends on, travel and COVID. Some states like Texas are pretty open, except wearing a mask and, public group areas. I'd love to see this thing over with very quickly, but that just kind of depends. Last thing I want to say is if you did not attend the natural health workshop or the advanced healing workshop, those are also available on a recorded You get everything that everyone else got. You get all the workshop material, you get the handouts, and you can sign up also using the links I sent. The only thing is on the advanced workshop, the online recorded version is slightly cheaper than the live version because the recorded people are not getting the free broadcasts, and they're also not getting the weekly calls that we did afterwards. So they're getting all the workshop material, but since they're not getting the broadcast, we decided to make that one a little bit less expensive in the recorded version because they can sign up on the monthly broadcast, for $39. So I hope that that's all the kind of announcements of what we're doing. Last announcement, and this was also in the newsletter, but we have the Gwen and Maria Show YouTube channel. And all our videos, all these Zoom calls have been now transferred to that YouTube channel. So if you miss a call, it's going to be uploaded there. You don't have to ask me for it. I'm not even going to send them by email anymore. Within a day or two of the live call on Tuesdays, I'm going to upload the video to YouTube, and you can go watch it whenever you have time if you want to go back and watch a certain subject. So Gwen and Maria Show on YouTube. And if you type that in, you'll find us and you'll see all the videos there, and it'll just keep getting added to. So that makes it easier than people always asking me for, what do you have the video from 2 weeks ago? And that's very time consuming on my part to respond to emails like that. So now they're just going to all be in one place. All right. So now I want to talk about like troubleshooting with the Healy, because I know that there's people that are challenged with the Healy, and to me, they fall into, I know this isn't everybody, so don't get upset with me, but most issues fall within 3 categories. And I want to talk about those categories because whether you're challenged or whether you have someone in your downline that's challenged, these are the things that you should do first. And if you don't want to go listen to a 2-hour Zoom call, you should write these down. I would definitely write these down, because when people call me that are in my direct downline, whether they talk to Lindsay or I, this is what we do. And this 98% of the time fixes the problem. There has been a few cases, and not lately actually, but there was a little spurt there where people were getting their devices there and they weren't activated. That's a different issue. I can't fix that. There is a way now in the back office that we showed you guys on the last call that you can request to activate a Healy, and you can do it in the back office without going through the typical support call system. Maybe Maria can show you that again tonight. So first of all, on the Healy, and I'm going to go ahead and show my screen. And so Maria, are you ready where you can do the people admitting? Okay. Good. All right. So I'm going to show my screen, and I'm just going to show you the tricks that, kind of come up over and over that people keep asking about. Can you see my screen, Maria?
I see Gwen Foster. I do not see your phone screen.
Huh. Okay, let's try that again.
I love your top. Sorry.
Oh,
that's just a girl thing.
Very springy in Houston right now.
Now I see your screen.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, it's funny because in Houston, it's like not cold at all. Okay, so first of all, the number one issue that comes up is right here on Bluetooth. Okay, you guys see my Bluetooth is empty. Okay, most people that have problems, I'm going to tell you a story about a lady that came over recently. And if I use any of you in a story, I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just trying to use you as an example of what we hear all the time. So I have a client in Houston that has a Healy. She's a new Healy person, and it wasn't working. And I kept telling her, what to do. And she kept saying, well, it's not working. So she actually drove over to my office, and it is nice when people are in Houston because they can come over and we can resolve this pretty quickly. What was happening with her, and this happens to 99% of people that have phones, is that you have other devices here. As you see, I have no other devices here. My devices have been, well, that wasn't even on there before, but not connected, but forgotten. So usually mine are forgotten and it's clear, it's empty. So if something pops up, I get rid of it. Now, this lady was like, oh, well, like I think she didn't actually believe that was the problem. And so I said, okay, well, let's try it. So her earpiece was on her Bluetooth, and so was her car. Both were turned off. She was sitting right in front of me. Her Healy would not connect. She couldn't even scan the serial number. So I was like, okay, well, until we forget your devices, I can't hear the rest of this. Like, I'm not like blah, 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 because I know that this is most of the time the problem. So we forgot her devices. She had a phone like mine, so it was easy. We just forgot the devices. We turned off the Bluetooth. We turned on the Bluetooth, and then we went to her app, and it was fine. It asked for the serial number. It loaded fine. Okay, this is the funny thing, is that she was like, I cannot live like this. I cannot live without my phone and my car and my earpiece on Bluetooth. I mean, that's just not going to happen. Well, there's a few things I noticed about the hour she was sitting here that I can tell you why a phone is not a good idea. Number one, her phone was sending her alerts about every 5 to 10 minutes that she had to respond to. That is not a good situation when you're using Healy, whether you're one of those people that has to check every text and respond immediately because you think your kids are dying or whatever you think. I'm not one of those people. I don't even want to look at my text most of the days. I don't even look at them but once a day. So, but if you're one of those people that is tied to that messaging system or WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever, then you should consider a second device. You should consider an old phone, or, well, not an old phone, but a phone that you're not using anymore, or a tablet. So I do have a Samsung tablet, but I also don't have any devices because I don't really use that stuff, and I don't really care if I use it. But that's one thing. So forget all your devices if this is empty. Sometimes after you clear and forget the devices, you have to do a hard reset on your Healy and delete the app and restore the app. Why? Because it's already confused, because it's already been looking for the stronger car signal. If you're used to using your car and your those things you talk to, I don't even know what they're called, but if you try to talk to those things, like not Siri, but the one in the people's houses, Alexa, if you're trying to talk to that, and if you have that on your phone, and if you have outdoor speakers, and if you have all the stuff, it's just going to be a huge headache. And what I have people do before they put in a support ticket is just forget them all, because first you need to know if that's going to work. But after you forget them, take your app off, delete it, reinstall it. Okay. It's no big deal to do that. I mean, I've done it so many times with my Healy. It's unbelievable. But let's just say right here, okay, you just hold down on the app. Okay. Well, I didn't mean to open it. I want to hold down on it. I want to remove it. Do you know how many times I've done this? It is like no big deal. It takes like less than a minute. If I'm having weird, glitchy stuff, this is the number 2 thing I recommend. Okay, you have no Bluetooth devices. That's number 1. That's going to be your big hang up and hiccup. Number 2, delete your app and turn on your Healy, or you don't have to actually turn it on. Hold the power button down for 20 seconds or until the light starts blinking again. Okay, so when the light comes on, it was right at about 20 seconds, then it's done a hard reset. So now your device is reset, and now there's no app. Okay, so this is like starting like from new, like anything that you've done to confuse it, or your phone's done, or there's been some phone update. If it was me personally and I can't do it on the Zoom call, I would also turn off my phone off, powered completely off, and power it back on. Now you have everything fresh from the beginning, and it's very not likely anything is going to keep messing with you. If you guys were on the call 3 weeks ago, this is exactly what happened to me. You guys remember we were talking about updates and how often you should update. I updated on the spot. My Healy didn't work, but I couldn't do anything about it because I was on a Zoom call. I couldn't like reset my phone to fix it. But as soon as we got off that call, I did exactly what I'm showing you, got back in, and it worked fine. It was like no big deal. But you have to do, like, I would recommend you do all 3 things. So then if I go back to the App Store and bring back in Healy, you know, it only takes a second to do this anyway. So don't like not do it because you think it's too hard. It's not really hard at all. Last time, a few people asked, well, how often do you update? I never update. I'm just one of those people that I think software updates are usually asking for trouble, but that's me personally. Also, I don't know if my Bluetooth was on, but I think so. So I have to go to settings. No, it's already on. I wasn't sure. Now, since I deleted everything and did a hard reset, this is normal. If you ever delete your app or do a hard reset on your Healy, it's going to ask you for the serial number again because it doesn't know what you're doing. This is also, if you're going to also flip between devices, let me see. If you're going to flip between devices, like you have two different Healys, sometimes even just flipping between devices, it's confused. And if you do the things I just mentioned, it's going to work out fine. Okay, so now it's going to go like it is in the beginning, and you do have to go do the update, because what happens, you get that. If you get your new Healy, and if you are not patient enough to sit long enough and wait for anything to happen, your person who has a Healy is going to say, I don't have anything but a blue screen. Okay. But if you sit there long enough, or if you have super fast internet like I do, it came up that the update's available once you click the update. But some people don't have fast internet, so that might take an hour or two before that little message comes up. So the way you can get around that is just by going to settings. So now I have all my programs. Okay. So that's what I wanted you to know, is that those are going to be the things that come up all the time. Either hard reset on your Healy. Some people say you have to plug it in. I think that's BS, because I've done it plenty of times. Right now it's not plugged in and it did the hard reset fine. You want to take everything off of your Bluetooth, and you also want to delete and reinstall the app. And turn off your phone and turn back on your phone. If you do those 4 things and your Healy is not working, then you have a legitimate problem. Okay. So the last thing I want to talk about having to do with troubleshooting is, let's just say I'm in and I want to download the gold program. So anyone that's new to Healy that might be on the call, I'm kind of famous now for not using straps ever. And I get a lot of questions on it, but I haven't since the beginning, and nor do I use any of that stuff with my dog. So if you don't want to use the straps, don't use the straps. Someone the other day, I had a call today on a dog appointment, and the lady said, she goes, so when you use it on your dog, you're putting the percentage to 100%. I'm like, no, what? No. And she goes, oh, that's probably why my dog is running away from it. I had to laugh, because she goes, one time she turned it on and she put it by the dog and the dog jumped. But what she was doing is taking this to 100. I never do that for my dog. I leave it at 15%. And I just lay the Healy next to him. So don't change the percentage, and 15% is fine. And just not using straps doesn't mean you have to go to a higher setting. Okay. But okay, so let's talk about a few things here. Okay. So this is like pulsing, and it's set for 52 minutes. Okay. Once this happens, the green light on my Healy is flashing a steady green. I don't know if you guys can still see me with screen share, but can you see me, Maria? Or just the screen share?
I see the pure.
Okay, so you don't see me at all?
So I don't see you.
Okay, I didn't know on screen share if you did. Okay, so right now my green light is a steady green, but watch this. I can swipe close my app. That did not close it, by the way. Do you see what just happened? It minimized it. I have to do a hard swipe, and there it is hiding, and do that. Okay, so now my app is closed, but guess what? My Healy is still working. The green light is still going. And when I go to bed at night, I do it that way, so that as soon as the program is finished, my Healy turns off. Okay, so if you want to save and conserve your battery, then just get in the habit of closing the app. And anyway, the second reason for closing the app is, this is the second biggest problem that happens with people. And this includes anyone in Houston that's driven to my place. They'll say they can't connect, they can't get back in, they run the pink dot, then the blue dot. Okay, so back to the lady that came in last week. Okay, this is what was going on with her. Is once we got everything working and it scanned her serial number, which was just an interference with her Bluetooth device, her phone did not stop dinging for one thing or another. Okay, that would drive me crazy. Okay, because that's gonna, if you're in here, if I want to go back into the app to connect to see like where the status is, you just go back into the app and it's going to show you where it is, or where it left off. So you see, it's now been 2 full minutes since I started the app. Okay, that's no big deal. But if I'm here and that transmitting or downloading the program was going on and she can't put her phone down for 5 seconds and she goes and checks. So let me just show you what I'm talking about instead of describing it. Okay, so let's say I want to do release next. Okay, it's downloading the program. Right during this moment, if I go to check my messages or check a text or check to see who called me or what that message was that just came through and I go back, guess what? It didn't download. And look, this happens all the time and people think that they have a Healy problem. This is not a Healy problem. If you do this in the middle of that download and you go to check something or respond to something, you get a blank screen. How many people have said they've heard someone that has a blank screen? Like 1,000 times I've heard this. And it's the same problem. They just don't realize what they did to create the problem. The way you fix this is swipe up. Again, that didn't close it. You see it and minimize it. You have to do a hard swipe. Get back to your little guy right there that's hiding. See, it's not so obvious. Swipe up. Now go back in and you basically have to start over. It's no big deal. But if someone says they have a blank screen, what's mostly happened is what I just showed you. But what happens is if you don't go back and actually close that app and that app was there hiding, I'm going to show you something else again, because I get this problem constantly. I don't think that's gonna, let me go to something else. Okay, so here we are again. We go to check our text or whatever. Come back. There's our blank screen. Okay, this is what everybody's complaining about. Okay, now watch. If I act like I closed this, but that didn't close that, right? It's not closed. And then I try to go back in. Same problem. Why? Because the app's not closed. So if I swipe up, the hard swipe, and find that little sucker right there that's hiding, and then close it, and then I go back to the pink dot app and turn back on my Healy again, it's going to work this time. This is a user error.
And it's interesting that Androids don't have quite the same difficulty because you can't swipe and have it still be in the background. When you swipe up, it's gone. So I think, but yours is an Android. Yours is new though, isn't it?
No, mine's an iPhone.
Oh, yours is an iPhone. Okay. Androids just have they're a little bit different. They swipe closed. I've not had any issues unless I walk away from my Healy. That's the only, I haven't had any issues with the blue app. There's a lot of weird things happening with the blue app right now. People aren't being able to stay connected. They'll do a scan, and actually you can't connect to your Bluetooth right now or your blue dot, right? Because Lindsay has it.
Yeah, Lindsay took it by mistake, but I haven't had that problem with the blue dot, but I'm suspecting it's something else. Like what I have a problem with the blue dot is when I've left the blue dot to go to the pink dot and I go back to the blue dot and then the pink dot isn't actually closed. So I don't know how that works on an Android, but if you guys are going from one program back and forth to the other and then checking a text and then going back and listening to a YouTube video, it's going to mess you up. I keep saying this over and over to people, and they don't even realize how many times they're looking at their text or looking at the phone, or they're going out of the program and back in. And if that's you guys and you can't help yourself, then get a second device. Because everyone that I know that's gotten a second device and didn't use it for nothing but Healy has not had problems. And also, if you're flipping between blue dot and pink dot, blue dot and pink dot, because you're going to see what to run, and then you go to the pink dot to do it, you just need to make sure everything's closed and you're starting from scratch. Otherwise, do the sequence of shutting everything down. I know it's inconvenient to close the apps, but I don't know how it works on an Android, but I know on an iPhone that those little suckers are hiding there in the background. And if you don't close that app properly, that's the biggest reason that people say they can't get in, or they have a blank screen, or they have a blue screen, or they have whatever. And it's, to me, the same issue over and over. Now, Maria, I have a question. When you go from your, because you have an Android, when you go from the pink to the blue dot app, can you do that without closing the pink dot app?
There have been times where I can, but the most of the time it seems very glitchy and I need to go back and then I haven't closed one. But I have been able to have my blue and my pink open at the same time and be functioning. But it's always a little bit glitchy and that doesn't work all the time. So I just make sure I close.
Yeah, I would say with Android too, that just make sure you close, because I think a lot of what people are describing are glitchy. I think they're going from the pink dot to the blue dot. They have one app open, so Healy's it doesn't know which app it's trying to talk to.
Right.
I don't really think they're meant to be open at the same time.
Charta says blue dot issue of blanking out in the midst of a scan. Is it synchronization issue? It synchronization issues? I think that's a question. I haven't had that happen. What I'm hearing from other people with the blue app right now, I'm just not experiencing that. I can vibrate, I can do stuff, I can scan and it'll tell me what I'm scanning. Some people are saying they scan and it takes them to something completely different. And we even had, I don't know if it was Darcy or somebody that sent, her screenshots. And I'm like, I've not seen that, not heard of it, not had it happen. So, but I'm hearing it more and more. So obviously they're going to have to do something.
Well, the only thing that's happened to me on the blue dot app is sometimes when I put my thumb on that fingerprint, it'll just sit there. And then if I go out and back in, it doesn't happen. Or the other thing I've noticed, if I only have one bar on my phone, like as far as Wi-Fi, if I only have one bar signal, it will be like, I'll put my thumb on the thumbprint and it's like, seems like slow as molasses.
So Darcy's saying that she doesn't do text, etc. She knows how to hard swipe. She said, I've never had both open at once and I can't do the blue resonance scan. So
do you have any Bluetooth devices on your device?
Darcy, can you unmute yourself and chat with us for a second? Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, there. I had to turn on my video too. Yeah, so let's see, where do you, I mean, I've done all of the troubleshooting, and you and I talked about this after the last call a few weeks ago, Maria.
Yep.
And I just, once in a blue moon, it will work and I can do a scan or two. Like sometimes I can do, like, I can't do the all program scan, but then I can do a blue, like within gold, I can scan within that. But then if I try to do a second one, it's like, nope, So as soon as like I put my finger on the thumbprint and it does the, the blue wavy thing showing that it's reading, and then I just get a blank screen.
Okay, but my two questions are, one, do you have any other Bluetooth devices connected?
I do not. And I've done the forget the device. So there's nothing there. I've turned the Bluetooth on and off. I turn the phone on and off actually every single night. So it's like never left on with cache. I made sure there's nothing else open at all. No programs whatsoever open. I mean, when I go to do my Healy, everything else is shut off.
And have you tried it on a different device?
I don't have a different device. I don't know what.
Well, are you ever with someone who just has a different phone?
I mean, I could be, but then I'd have to teach it. Wouldn't I have to, like, somehow I would set it up on a different, I don't even know how to do that.
Well, I mean, it's not hard. So let me tell you what I do to troubleshoot when this happens. Okay. So, and how many bars do you have as far as Wi-Fi signal? Or
I have a high speed, really solid Wi-Fi.
Yeah. But on your phone, how many bars does it show? Like one, two,
bars
three,
is
4?
cell tower. Bars is cell tower. So that's not
I know, but I have super fast Wi-Fi in my house, but I have 2 bars on my cell phone strength.
I have 3 bars right now. I often have, I mean, I've got.
So it never dropped, because mine does drop to 1 sometimes. Yours never drops to less than 3.
Well, that's not Wi-Fi. That's the cell tower. I mean, I haven't noticed it dropping. I've never dropped. It doesn't drop calls or drop stuff, but.
It's not dropping a call. I'm telling you that on mine, it acts glitchy when I have 1 bar.
I haven't seen it have 1 bar in the house.
Okay, I'm just suggesting that. But the other thing I would try, because this happens a lot of times when people bring their Healy to me and they're sure it's defective, is I wipe out the stuff on my phone. I connect their Healy to my phone and then it works fine. So just from a troubleshooting perspective, I would try just.
Is that the blue app, Gwen? Is that the Resonance app?
It's been on both. It's been
On
on
both,
Pink.
okay.
Yeah, I
When
don't have any
people-
troubles with the Pink app. The Pink app works fine all the time.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, I've had people with both and
Both.
we have them come here and Maria's had 1 or 2 people send them to her. And I connect it to my phone, which is a new iPhone, and I run it and run through the programs. And if it works fine on a different device, or if you do it on a tablet, then there's something in your phone interfering. If
So
it
Gwen,
doesn't,
just to be clear, when they're doing that with the Resonance, they email you their master key. And
no,
you
no, no,
open-
I have to do it with them. I mean, they have to be here
Oh, you're doing it on their phone with them, not on your phone.
on my phone, but here in person. I'm not doing it where they need the master key. All I'm doing, because you don't need the master key. I don't have to save their master key to go into the Blue Dot app.
So if I do have an iPad. So I've never tried to do anything with Healy on it. If I turned off Bluetooth and got rid of anything that it might have connected with in the past, I don't know that it has. I could download the Healy apps onto my iPad and try to connect my Healy device to my iPad.
Yeah, if I had an old iPad that was like 10 years old and it wouldn't work, but then I bought a new Samsung tablet and it worked fine. I mean, just from basic troubleshooting, always try it on a second device before you think it's the Healy, because there could be some app interfering, there could be something interfering that you just are not aware of. And if you put it on a second device, I've even had, people come in swearing off the Healy. I put on mine, it runs fine. I put on my Samsung, it runs fine. They go to get a Samsung, it runs fine. It's just something wrong with their phone. It's like some device interference.
Let me read some of the stuff in the chat, Gwen, that's come up
Okay.
since you guys have been talking.
Okay.
Judy says, I have a second device with a Blue Dot app that goes blank after a scan. Usually it works after a hard reset, or I turn off the device. iPad is the device. Okay, the next person, Carrie, says, I had this problem and all I had to do is turn my Wi-Fi off and then go into the Blue app and it works. You guys were just talking about that.
You mean turn the
Annette-
Wi-Fi off and leave it off? Or just turn it off and turn it back on?
She said, I had this problem and all I had to do is turn off my Wi-Fi, turn it off, and then go into the Blue app and it works.
Okay, she must have-
Annette says the Blue Dot white screen for me on iPad used for Healy. It's an iCloud connection issue. Often I have to toggle off auto sync as advised and then use the resync later. I haven't seen that particular screen.
I don't even know where to do that, yeah.
Fanny
That's
says
on-
my
It's
app's
on the
just,
iPhone settings. That's why I'm saying that there could be interference with something that another device will sort out for you.
Okay.
Fanny's having the same problem. She says over the past week, her Blue app is not working right. I do the scan and then the screen goes blank or it doesn't show the history list. And I have heard that from a couple of people too. So Carrie says, yes, leave off the Wi-Fi while using the Blue app. So those are some of the things that came up while you guys were talking.
The Wi-Fi while using the, oh, that's interesting.
Well, because then you're using your cell phone signal and that means there's something interfering with Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is weird because someone can have fast Wi-Fi, but with everybody working from home and on Zoom and on Netflix, you can have these huge fluctuations with bandwidth and with speed and stuff. And so it is a little bit confusing because you have the bars on your phone, which is your signal on your cell tower. And then your phone can be connected to Wi-Fi, which is tapping into that. But Wi-Fi, if you have like someone watching Netflix and you're on a Zoom call and then you have something else going on in your house, you're down to a crawl.
Yeah, no, I
especially-
don't have that issue at my house because I'm the only one here.
I'm just saying, but it could be the bandwidth in your neighborhood. It could be everybody's at home watching, now all the TVs are internet TVs. And so the way you can sort that out, but not on Healy, but because I do troubleshooting for other software and I have people do speedtest.net and people will think one thing and then you see speedtest.net and they got nothing. And, the other thing that happens with cell phone carriers, but also like Comcast, Xfinity and all that, they'll tell you that you might have like unlimited everything, but after you hit a certain data point during the month, you're basically getting nothing. Like it's, they say unlimited everything, but unlimited everything says, oh yeah, it's unlimited. But once you hit whatever your magic number is on your plan,
It drops down.
It drops down to almost nothing.
Yeah, no, I do
So
tests regularly. They're fine, but yeah, interesting. I'll get the Apple iCloud and Healy iCloud.
So Annette says from my Apple Tech had me look at my Apple iCloud and the Healy iCloud, and then it was determined it was a Healy connection issue from that point.
And then I would also say that a lot of people that have iPhones that were frustrated got Samsung tablets for $100 and solved all their frustrations. So if, again, it goes back to just technology, one thing doesn't talk to another thing. And it usually has to do with how technology is designed and developed, just like how some programs work great on PCs and they're always glitchy on Macs. It's the same problem.
Right.
Whatever technology something is built around, whatever platform, it's always going to be more stable than going into Mac or vice versa. If you have a Mac program, you're trying to use it on a PC, it's always going to be glitchy. I mean, I'm not saying always, because we're talking about, well, how do we work around this? Obviously the easiest solution, I know it's another $100, but I'm not into frustration. Like I was okay with deleting all my Bluetooth stuff just because that solved all my issues I used to have. In the very beginning, I had the same issues as everybody else, but now I don't, because I realize this is what I have to do in this exact sequence and no more problems.
And I think some people are having issues that have used their blue app and pink app successfully for months now. And now all of a sudden we're having these glitches, and we have 38 people on this call. And of the few people on this call that are having that experience, we can be guaranteed that there are many, many others just in the United States that are experiencing this. So I'm assuming that Healy will come out with something pretty soon saying, hey, we've done an update or we've done something. So I think we just need to, keep helping each other through some of these, like the hard reset, turn off your phone, turn off the Bluetooth, do all of that, to see if there's anything connection wise that's on our end. And I have a feeling in the coming week or so, we'll probably see something from corporate that says, oh, by the way, we had to do something different. You just swiped off and I didn't catch you before you did, Gwen, but Trudy wanted to know, can you go over again how you turn off put your sleep app on the pink dot and then turn it off so the music doesn't wake you up? But that's literally just hard swiping it closed. You're closing the app completely and then the music won't go. So I don't know, Trudy, have you done that and then you still get the music?
Well, the other way to turn off that, Maria, is turn off those settings. Like,
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I heard you. Yeah, I didn't turn off the sound in my settings, so I could do that. I haven't tried that.
Or the notification. And I have only emergency stuff on because I have my phone up next to me. I have a son in the Army, so I have my people set that if they call me, then that's going to come through. Everything else is ignored until morning.
On both of the apps, I turn off the notifications, I turn off the alerts. I don't want all those things flashing up on my screen either. So just turn those off under settings. That's how you resolve that. I was also going to say that if you have an extra phone, like I have one that's it's usually right here, but it's an iPhone that I had before this phone, and it still is not, if it's plugged in and charged, I'm still getting text on it. It's it's not deactivated. I just got everything transferred to this new phone, but the other phone is still working. It's just not one I'm using. So if you have a secondary phone, you could, try to do that too, if you don't want to spend the money on a tablet. Someone else, you just said something before that, Maria. I was going to try to interrupt you and answer it now. I can't even think of what it was, but it'll come back to me. But if you have oh, I know what I was going to say. Back in September, there was an update that messed with a bunch of us. There was people that we didn't have the Blue Dot app for a week to 3 weeks, depending on which phone you had. So that's why I said 3 weeks ago, I'm not one of those people to run and do every update that comes along. In fact, I don't do any of them, because usually with an update, they're just like with any software, there can be another glitch or new thing that wasn't tested on your exact brand of phone with your exact app. You know, all of us have like this vegetable soup of apps. They're all different. They're all doing different things. They're all communicating differently. Well, Healy can't test every combination of those. They don't even probably know all the apps out there, nor do I. So sometimes, you know, like when that September thing happened, I think I didn't have a Blue Dot app for like over 2 weeks. I can't remember now exactly how long it was, but just be wary of running updates. You know, when you uninstall an app and then you reinstall the app, you're basically getting the updated version. But sometimes just doing an update can make things not work until they sort it out and they come out with another update. Anyway, I don't have anything else, Maria, unless you want to start with what you're going to talk about with points. Does anyone else have a question that I didn't exactly answer though? Like, I promise if you'll do the things I showed you and try a second device, if you don't want to get a tablet, then borrow your husband's cell phone, your kid's cell phone, your mom's cell phone. Everybody has a cell phone. Just try a different cell phone. All you have to do is load the app, load one person into the Blue Dot app. If it works, and it works after you do it 4, 5, 6, 7 times, you can pretty much guess that it's your device that is not working with the Healy, and there's some glitchy thing between the two.
I had something I'd like to share if you got a minute.
Yeah.
This is me, Dana. Hi, Dr. Gwen. Hi, Dr. Maria. And hi,
you.
everybody. Happy New Year 2021. We're praying 2021 doesn't say to 2020, could you hold my beer? It's not going to, it's going to be a great year. Anyway, I just wanted to share this with y'all in case it happens to y'all. I bought the subscription for the DNA nutritional app. I've been enjoying it, but strangely on my iPhone, and I have not loaded it onto my Samsung tablet, it wiped out my pink apps. So I can't choose to go to my gold cycle, my job, my learning, any of those. I can DNA all day long. I can, you know, put all these digital nutrition apps, I can run all those all day long. And I did a hard reset. I uninstalled the DNA app. I uninstalled the DNA Analyze Advisor, and I reset it. I uninstalled the pink app, and
Did you check
slowly
for
one
updates?
by one.
Did you do
Yes, ma'am.
updates too? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I am updated above my eyebrows. I'm so updated, there's nothing left to say. But I did go ahead and create a ticket in the back office to say, and I sent them a screenshot showing that the only thing that is present in my gold app stuff is Deep Cycle, which that's a good one if you have to only have one. Deep Cycle is not a bad thing to have out there, but doggone it, I love to go over to first thing in the morning and do job positive thoughts before I even swing my legs out of the bed.
Do you have the bioenergetic boost and the gold, or do you only have the Deep Cycle and digital nutrition?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
There are no other pink dot apps on there at all. They're all gone. Job, learning, beauty, gold, chakras, none of those are there. They're gone. So I did send them the screenshot showing this is all that's present, you know, and it's implied $100 subscription should not take away what I got with the $2,000, you know,
right.
resonance. So I wanted to let you know that there is a ticket out there for them to resolve that. I sent it December 30th. So it's just barely been a week.
They are getting faster they are getting faster. It's just, and you might go in every day and check for an update, because sometimes they're fixing the problem and they're not even letting you know, because they're just getting through tickets. You know, that's all they're doing. So you might go in every day and just check, because you might find that one day they've actually solved your problem for you. And if you weren't checking, you wouldn't have known. And they may not send you an email. So I know they're still underwater and they're still trying to catch up. So I had that happen with somebody's email being changed. All of a sudden it was there, you know, and the support ticket was gone. So we were going to put in a new support ticket. And then I realized, I'm like, wait a second, your email is actually now accurate. And so they had changed it, so just keep checking, because they may fix it on their own without you.
All right. Thank
Good to see you.
I will do that. Good to see you too.
Okay, so Heather says, is there a limit to the number of programs we can vibrate with the blue dot or run the pink dot with no wires, Gwen? 3 programs a day is recommended for microcurrent, but do you run more? Since you don't run the cables, do you just run programs all day long?
No, but only because I don't have time, but I probably do 5 regularly. I
So
did
is that
run them
kind of
all.
your max? 5 is usually kind of where you.
It's only
Someone-
because timing, like I kind of do one in the morning and then I get busy and then I just don't think about it. And then I do them after my last call, and then I kind of do them with Eddie but now he has his own device. So I feel like it's just how many I get done because each one's almost an hour, and that's that way. But I have done more, like on the long road trip to Colorado was probably the last time, but I did it the full 17 hours in the car. I always had an app going because I wasn't going crazy with a million other things. I could just focus on me. Now it doesn't take that long to reset it, but it's also the phone, thing going on and stuff going on. And Lindsay has this, and, we're sharing, devices, or she's using my device to answer people's questions. So it's just for a lot of reasons, but I would say, they say 7, but honestly, who has time? I mean, 7 is 7 hours, not counting whatever else you're doing,
Unless
with
it's digital nutrition, and they might be a little less, but.
yeah.
Can you go back into your Pink app? So Bonnie went in to shut off her sound, and she says, I also clicked the 4th item on the list, and she says, I can't tell you what it said, but the link is now blank. What was it? What does it do, and how do I get it back?
Okay.
So she went into settings.
In the Pink app. Yep.
Yeah, let me go. I'll show you. Okay. So pink dot.
Bonnie is a Pink app in a pink room. Go you.
It's activate logging is what it is. Activate logging.
So what is logging? Do I want it? And how do I get it back? Because that line is like, it's blank.
Well, you're either activated or you're not. So I've never pushed that button before. So now I don't know. But are you saying it was activate logging would tell me it's for troubleshooting purposes, but are you telling me that you did that and then it wasn't working?
No. I don't even know. I haven't touched a thing. I clicked on active logging, and the line, there's no words on the line anymore.
Right. Mine did the same thing, but that activate logging generally means you're doing something that has to do with logging for troubleshooting purposes.
How do I turn it off? How do I get that line back on? So let's see what happens with yours.
Well, I would do a hard reset if you can't, but I'm not going to do a hard reset right now, but let's see.
Got a hard reset on my phone or a hard?
Yeah, it came back. Oh, wait, no, it didn't. It said send log files. So
Send log files.
So mine, let's see what happens.
So I just went out of the app and back in. But see, this is also where you click turn off sound, deactivate notifications. I do that automatically every time I load my app again.
Right. And you turn off notifications too. Okay.
Yeah, that way you don't hear that little sound in the background. And that little sound will drive you to be crazy in a short, like few hours.
2 hours? You're good. I wouldn't last that long.
I was gonna say it leads you to drinking, but I shouldn't be saying that on this call.
I like the music at the end, though. I'm just going to say I'm one of those that I just kind of start dancing with the music.
But you know what? I can't stand the little beep every 10 seconds before you get to the victory lap. Mine's all nice and zen and peaceful and quiet.
Is there a document discussing the use of the Healy without wires? No, but it's emitting hertz. The Healy is itself, the device itself is emitting hertz. So you are getting that into your information field when you're having the Healy around you. So I don't know that there is any written documentation. Robert asked that. I don't know if there's any written documentation on that. The one thing that you're missing if you're not doing the cables is you're not getting the microcurrent, which has been proven to be, amazing too. Okay.
And on the Pink app, because I know the Blue app, you can do distance. So I'm assuming that works for me too. I don't have to have my Healy on, I can walk into my house and back to my outside room. But on the Pink app, what's the furthest you guys recommend I don't go beyond to still benefit from having the Healy Pink app running without wearing it?
Well, you have to be wearing it, or you have to have it next to you. You can't, it's not working like the Blue Dot app. So it's not working in quantum field stuff or anything like that. You have to be next to it. And for anyone that is asking, like, I'm going to give you guys a story I shared once before, but I'm going to share it right now because this is for sure. I've seen over and over, like where I just put it next to my dog. I have literally seen him do things like a few seconds later that he wasn't doing before. Like, he doesn't know what's happening. He's not connected to it. But what happened to me, I was in San Antonio with my grandkids of about, I don't know now, that's been a few months ago. And I usually fall asleep to the Healy, but I had actually been using the Healy in my car on the drive up there. And when I got there, the kids were excited and it was still in my car. Well, the night goes on, it's, 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm in bed and I couldn't sleep for anything. I was laying there just like wide awake, thinking about nothing in particular, exhausted, but still wide awake. And I went down to my car. I got up out of bed. My granddaughter and my dogs were sleeping with me. I go down to my car. I get my Healy. I turn it on balance sleep. And I always lay it next to me. It's not attached. And within less than 10 minutes, I was sound asleep. And I know it was 10 minutes because I was sitting there looking at it thinking, okay, I am wide awake mentally. So this will be very interesting. I was not connected, no straps, no nothing. It was just laying like literally between me and my pillow. Like if my shoulder's at my pillow, it was laying between me and the pillow. Sometimes I wake up and I got to find it in my bed because it's moved around. But after it finishes, it's off, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I was sound asleep and there was no way I was sleeping before that. So I don't know, I mean, I think if someone questions the fact that I'm not attached to it, you guys just need to try it. If you have the same benefit or you feel the same thing from it, then I just think the attachments are cumbersome personally. But I also believe that you have to believe what your mind believes. If your mind believes you need to be attached to get benefit, then you need to be attached. I think it's a mind thing.
Okay, so I get that I need to be near it. Is that like within a foot, within 3 feet? I know it has to be in my proximity. My question is, if I get up
3 to 5 feet. I think Gwen did that with her dowsing.
Yeah, I doused the signal and it was about 5 feet, but I usually have it under my bra strap, between me and my pillow, between me and my dog. I mean, it's within a foot usually.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
When we've done Healy show and tells, it's amazing because you get 2 or 3 or more Healys in a room and people are kind of happy. I mean, so it's definitely, transmitting out into the field. So, okay. So Marilyn says, I thought I heard, do you want to show the sleep and then the hard swipe one more time so people see that? And then you already showed the notification.
What do you mean show sleep?
Oh,
Right here?
yeah. She just asked if you put it on sleep and then you hard swipe it so that your Healy's still running. Basically, you just are starting it. You make sure that it's uploaded completely to your Healy. And as soon as that's done, you swipe it closed and make sure your notifications are off, turn your phone off, whatever you need to do. And then the alarm or the really cool little tune won't wake you up.
Yeah. Well, swipe the app closed.
You'll start dreaming about being down in Tahiti or something. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you should listen to that.
Yeah, but Maria, when the app is closed, it's not going to do that little program.
No, it's not.
So once you swipe the app closed, whether your notifications are on or off, it's not going to do anything.
It's not going to do it.
Because now, when I swipe the app closed is once the little line starts. Mm-hmm. So I make sure it gets started when I see how many minutes are finished, like right now, and I do my iPhone. I have to kind of do it twice, you see, and now it's still running my green thing here. I'm going to go off a screen share so I can just show you guys. Y'all saw me close the app, and now you can see on my Healy
Yeah, it's still blinking. Yep.
It's still blinking and it's going to blink for 52 minutes and then it just turns off and there's no little sound or music or nothing. It's just done.
And you're saying you run Balance Sleep as your sleeping program when you're in bed with your Healy?
That's the one that I use, but I have tried all three. There's 3 sleep programs. There's the other one on that same page, and then there's the one under protection. I found that Balance Sleep works best for me, but I have tried them all. I think it depends on each person, but that's the one I use.
And I really like bed rest. So
Yeah, I think everybody would be different depending on what is actually in those.
okay, so Marilyn, moving on, she said, I thought I heard somewhere about the programs and subscriptions failing to process after the fee period. That's true. You do have to go back in to my subscription, my orders, click my subscriptions, and then you have to re-up them. You will click the pay button, like it's going to take you to where you can enter your credit card for those same subscriptions, but you literally have to go back into your cart, add what you want, re-enter your credit card, and go from there. So they may change that. We're supposed to have a new back office, and I don't know, it's supposed to be in January, and I haven't heard anything yet. So maybe tomorrow's corporate call will give us some insight into that.
Do you want to talk now, Maria?
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's anything else in the maybe you can read the
yeah,
from
I can go through questions. I'll turn you'll show your screen anyway. I don't need to do anything because you're co-host. And
I've pretty much answered everything up until 4 minutes and 58 seconds in the chat. I think I caught everything. But yeah, I will share my screen.
4 minutes and 58 seconds.
Yeah, 4:58, I think is where I was.
That's very good and precise. Okay, I'm gonna go to questions. Okay.
I'm trying to pull out the Gwen in me and be really precise.
That's the Virgo. See, that's the Virgo in my chart.
That's right. Okay, it's okay. We really like that. Okay, so we are entering a new part of Healy, and some people are going to be a little bit irritated, agitated, scared, frustrated, whatever. I get it. But we've kind of known this has been coming. So for those of you who don't know, when you join an MLM, typically they have you buy their products because you are creating a point volume of your own to keep your business center active. And in that activation, then you get to have commissions. What Healy did since, from May 1st until January 1st was allow us to not have to have our business center active, which was amazing, extremely generous and amazing. There are many of us that wish they hadn't have done that because we wanted everybody to be in the thought process of, if you're going to be involved in Healy, let's be active with Healy and have subscriptions. So I want to talk about the points and the active status because that's where we just need to know the ins and outs about it. We don't know that everything is 100% set in stone. They've already started changing some of the points. We are having a leadership meeting. I think Tuesday, next Tuesday night after our call. So we might have more information within the coming weeks, and we will definitely keep you posted on that. But point value, it's interesting because it's referred to personal volume and point volume in different places in the compensation in your back office. So PV is point volume, personal volume. It's the volume generated by a member, you as a Healy member, by yourself, or people you have personally sponsored. What's changing now about being active is that your personal volume will rely on your personal purchases, your subscriptions, and customer subscriptions. Since it was free to sign up all of 2020, it's very, very possible that many of you, me included, have never signed up a customer. So I don't even have a customer base to look at. So what we need to start doing is pre-qualifying people for the fact that memberships now cost $49.95 to sign up. That will entice some of your people who purchase a Healy to become just a customer. They'll just want to go to your website, your Healy website, and they'll want to purchase as a customer. That purchase doesn't add towards your personal volume. It's the subscriptions that they might get that add to your personal volume. So this is where the rub is. And this is how a multi-level marketing company stays in business. And believe me, we want them to stay in business, because we're not even at the wave or even close to the cusp of where this is going to go. There's only 75,000 distributors in America, so we have to look at this as this is a good thing. But this is where the rub is that all of your personal volume, in order for you to collect dual leg bonuses, which is the point volume off of your binary, and for you to collect the matching bonus, which is when you have someone underneath you that's a builder, you get to capture 10% of their weakest leg volume. So those two bonuses, those two commission bonuses, rely on you having active membership, active status with your business center. Even if you're not active and you sell a Healy, you will still get direct commission. The direct commission is not included in this at all. It's not affected by you not being active, but we're going to talk about why it's really important for you to be active and bringing people in from a customer perspective. So let me back up a little bit. Since we now have, and I haven't signed anybody up here in January to see if they got charged the $49.95. Is there anybody on the call that can unmute themselves that has done that and can verify that $49.95 was charged at the time of sign up? No. Okay. So I don't even know what that looks like yet. My assumption is that it's going to show that they have to pay. That's been free for us in 2020 as well. So now when we sign someone up, instead of saying, oh, it's just free to sign up, and you've got a full year to see if you want to build a business, now there's going to be a little bit more incentive for them to decide, if I'm going to spend $49.95, then I want a business build. How I'm going to bill that for people is $49.95 divided by 12 months is $4.16. So for $4.16, basically per month, paid upfront, you get to have a back office and build a business and collect 3, 4, or 5 different levels of commission. To me, that's really worth it. And so that's how I will be talking about that $49.95 for people. But there's going to be some people who they just go, I don't want to build a business. I don't want to spend the extra $50. I'll just become a customer. So that's going to be helpful for us for our volume, since our personal volume or our PV points comes from our own subscriptions and customers that we bring in that purchase a subscription. So if you have someone out there that's an animal lover and they don't want to build a business, when they purchase a Healy, encourage them to get a subscription to the animal app, animal subscription, and that will count. Okay, so in order to receive commission payments, where you're talking that you need to be active, your rank determines how much PV to remain active. My next slide will show that. If you're a builder or a member, 50 PV. As you get up into senior, team leader, manager, and above, then it goes up to 100 and 200 PV. When you have, so if you have, let's say in a month you have 10 customers, and they buy Healys and they all decide they want either the revitalization subscription or the animal subscription, or they want the digital nutrition, whatever. Once your PV from those subscriptions goes up over 200 points, so at 201, that 1 point will then drop over into your weaker leg. So you will start gleaning that. So as we move on and we build more customers, and I remember Rick Fleshman in the sales calls or the corporate calls a while back, he was really, telling us that is like, really look for building up your customer base, because that's what's going to help you create your own personal volume, because that counts for you. PV is generated either by the revenue through personally sponsored customer subscriptions or by your own revenue subscription. So just selling a customer a Healy doesn't necessarily count for your PV. Now, I'm going off of the wording here, and I've been really careful with Healy since about June about their wording, and it says subscriptions. So that's where my stance is right now. I'm going to say it's subscriptions, not Healy purchases. It would be really nice if we sold somebody a gold and that 250 points just made us active. But I don't think that's where Healy's going. I think they're really looking at, they want people to have active subscriptions all the time. Just as if we had a supplement company, we would be buying their supplement, you know, as part of being active. So they've been very generous and not forced us to do that until now. So your rank determines the amount of PV that's needed to be active. And for a new member, the first 2 months will automatically be set to active. So during that first month of 30-day fast start and the following month, a new member does not have to worry about reaching subscription status, either themselves or by their customers. But after that, they will. Okay, and then here's the points that correspond to the compensation. Again, this doesn't mean you're not going to get paid commission under the direct commission. If you sell somebody a Healy, you're still going to get that direct commission of $75, but you may not be able to have the points if you're not in active status. To be in active status, if you're a builder, a team leader, a senior team leader, then you need 50 points. If you're a manager or above, up to senior director, you need 100 points. And if you're vice president or up to, then you need 200 points. So, and this is based on, from what I understand, and I'll correct myself if I'll correct it if I'm wrong later down. I'm like, if this is the level you've reached, the highest level you've reached. So what does that mean? Let's say that you get up to, well, where I'm a manager. And so I was manager for 3 or 4 months, which meant that I had some senior team leaders underneath me. Then we hit that kind of lull in sale. I think it was after that September sale in October. And that next month sales went down and some of my senior team leaders lost out on some of their team leaders because everybody needs to keep a certain point value to keep rank. All of a sudden my highest rank was manager, but now all of a sudden it shows that I am a senior team leader. My assumption and what I'm going to go off of is that because my highest rank achieved has been manager, I will need to have 100 PV or 100 points every single month to make sure that I get my dual leg bonus and my matching bonus. So I will let you know if that changes, because right now I'm a senior team leader. So that would only mean that I have to have 50 points, but I'm not going on that because I don't want to get kicked out of any of those commissions. I'm going to make sure that I have 100 points in subscriptions. So I did that personally just a couple of days ago, went in and got all my subscriptions. Again, this is a budget issue. We're looking at, here we are in the middle of COVID, and that's where this might be scaring some people. We're in the middle of COVID and you're thinking, oh no, now I have to actually every single month buy a subscription with a Healy that only has worked for me 75% of the time. I totally understand and I totally get it. But what we have to remember is it's a startup company and we're generating and everything's moving forward. And this is, you kind of have to keep the vision of where it's headed and that all of the kinks are eventually going to be worked out and that it's worth it. I know some people have decided that the vision right now isn't worth it and they're sort of dropping back and keeping their place, but maybe not going to be active, which is everybody's individual decision. You have to decide budget-wise what you can afford. If you're in that place where you're thinking, I can't afford, 50 PV is about $100 a month. If you're in a place where you're like, I can't really do $100 a month, then we need to chat on how can we help you build your business. And so I'll talk a little bit later about how we're going to do that. But this is the PV that you need. This is in your back office. It was in the newsletter. I just took it from the newsletter that came out from Healy. But you're welcome to take a screenshot if you haven't already written it down. Okay, what happens if you're not active? Okay, this is important. If you are not active, then at the end of the month of being not active, all of your points flush, meaning you go back to 0 on your left leg and your right leg. So let me give you a for instance. Right now, because I have a right leg that is going gangbusters. I have, I don't know, 269,000 points or something like that. If I just, because I wasn't paying attention, let my subscriptions run out, or I didn't have enough, I wasn't paying attention, and the end of the month happened and I didn't get in and purchase another subscription to make myself active with that 100 PV, then I lose out on those points. So it's going to be very, very important for all of us to, not only for ourselves, but for anybody else that's already in our downline or people that we're bringing in, that we make sure that we're telling them, this is what happens if you don't stay active. Now, this happens in other multi-level businesses, so this isn't new. It's not something that Healy's, being mean about. Again, the people that end up forfeiting those points, it just helps Healy stay in business. However, those members are missing out on what could be huge potential. So now I do have some people on my left leg that have an enormous amount of points because they've never built their right leg. What I'm anxious to see, or not anxious, what I'm interested in looking at is at the end of January, moving into February, to see if their points are now at 0 and 0. Now, these are some people that got in because it was free, but they've never really done anything with that place or that position. So they have all these points accumulated on one leg and nothing on the other. I'm really curious to see what happens with those points if they go back to 0 and 0. So I'll keep you posted. But for right now, January is our activation month. That's what they're going to require. So if we want to make sure that we're staying active so we can get all of our commissions and move forward with the points that we still have and keep all of those points engaged, then we need to make sure that we have active status. So that was a little bit discouraging for me when I heard that all the points would wash for your left and right legs. So they're going to make us pay attention, which we should be doing anyway. Okay. And then also the achievement of only partial amount of points does not constitute any legal claim to bonuses. Again, this isn't about direct bonuses. This is just about the dual leg bonus and the matching bonus. Okay, so what do you need to know? There is the email they sent out was very confusing. And so this, let me move the screen down a little bit. Okay, so a rank achieved in 1 month determines the necessary points to keep you active 2 months later. This means that if someone comes in and they get to, let's say in their first month, let's say this month, somebody goes past member and builder, and let's say they get up to team leader. They are not required to have their 50 points until 2 months later. Now, if they just signed up, remember they get 60 days of complete active status. But down the road, let's look farther down the road. Let's say somebody signs up in, February and they go through that 60 days of active. And then on that third month, let's say they just build a huge business. Let's say they've been networking and building and boom, all of a sudden they are a manager and now they need 100 PV, not just 50, but they need 100. Well, the Healy will allow them 2 more months to achieve that 100 point volume. So that's what that means. A rank achieved in 1 month determines the necessary points for keeping the active status 2 months later. And then it goes on to say a qualification of a team leader is achieved in the calendar month of January. Thus, in the month of March, 2 months later, 50 points are required to remain active and thus receive bonuses regardless of the rank qualification in March. So they could go from senior team leader up to manager in March, but it'll be from 2 months prior. It's a little bit confusing. It's about wrapping your brain around it. I'm at a point where I'm going to start telling people as soon as you rank up, make sure you're meeting the need of your PV to keep your status where it needs to be, so that you don't lose anything. So I'm not even going to tell people about the 2 months. I'm bringing it up because it was in that email and it's a confusing paragraph. As we have found out, Healy does sometimes do confusing paragraphs. Then they go on to say the exception is since November and December of 2020 qualifications can no longer be influenced. The corresponding points for your rank in January and February will not be used as commission criterion. They will go into the Marches, which gets paid in April. Again, that's super confusing. So what I'm telling people to do is as soon as you know you rank up, And you see that in your back office. When you pull up your dashboard, it gives you your rank. What are you? It'll tell you your highest rank and where you are now. Always have your PV active, the active points that you're purchasing for your subscriptions or through customers. Make sure that you're meeting the need of your highest rank. And that's what I'm going to tell everybody. I'm not even going to worry about all of this. I'm just bringing this up because it's in the newsletter and it's confusing.
Maria,
But really,
Maria,
yeah.
I got to interrupt real quick because now I'm getting right on this subject. I'm getting a lot of questions about
Okay.
the
Yeah,
actual per subscription. You're going to get to that, right?
I am.
Okay,
Yes.
because and then what we already had talked about. So anyway, for everyone that's asking the questions that she hasn't covered yet, she's going to cover that. So there's a lot of questions about, well, what if I have the watch subscription? Does that make me still good? How many
Yep.
points? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so she's going to cover that. So you guys hold the point questions because she just hasn't got to that yet.
I just haven't got to that. I just know that a lot of people probably read this and just glazed over at glassy eyed, because it's like, even I had to call Vanessa and go, can you explain that first paragraph to me? Because I don't get this, but it just means that they're not going to require you. If you bump up needing PV, they're not going to require that of you the month that you receive that new rank up. They're going to require that 2 months down the road. If they would have just worded it that way, that would have been really nice. Okay. Sorry.
Let everybody know because everybody's asking the same question now.
Okay, that sounds good. Oops, I'm going to points now. Okay, so the animal bundle, this is new. I don't have it yet. I have a couple people that are going to be getting it. In fact, we're going to be putting on an animal seminar at some point down the road in February. And I don't know if I'll have it by then, but I may make Steve get it so I can actually have it and look at it. I know, Gwen, have you purchased yours yet? Or you're in the middle of going to be doing that, I think you said. Okay. Okay. So the animal bundle is going to have a 25-point PV attached to it. It is that the first one here, it says the animal bundle is a 3-month app. So this is interesting because it's a 50 PV if you buy the bundle, but you divide that out, 50 divided by 3, and you're getting 16.67 points divided out into those 3 months of that 3-month Heal Advisor animal subscription. So if you need 50 PV, this is only going to provide, even though it says 50 PV, it's spread out for 3 months. So it's only going to provide you 16.67 points. So you're going to need to have another subscription. The overall monthly subscription for the animal is 25 PV. And it's going to be about, now this says euros, about $42. So I'm not sure exactly what that is for us. I think it even says in our back office in our, I should have pulled up our shopping cart to see what it says in there, but I think it says 42 per month at 25 PV. This is interesting. You have to, this says, please note that the animal kit is required to use the animal subscription. So you almost have to buy the kit first and then continue with the subscription. So, Gwen, you'll have to let us know what that looks like when you get in there and do that.
Yeah, I should have it by next week.
Okay, so the animal kit contains all of the accessories needed for applying the Healy's individualized microcurrent frequency, IMF programs, included in the Heal Advisor search module to your companion animals. Here's what's included in the animal module on your pet easier. I don't know what that means, but I literally just copied and pasted this from their newsletter. 3 fastening buttons, 2 fastening straps, 2 conductive silicone pads. I can't wait for you to show this to us, Gwen. 1 elastic band and 2 conductive sponges. So they're obviously going to do microcurrent on the animal. So hopefully you'll demonstrate that on Eddie for us. So yeah.
My dogs are already rolling their eyes like, really? We have to.
That's awesome. Okay, the first class Heal Advisor bundle contains all Heal Advisor modules with the animal kit. So again, now this, when you buy it all together, you're getting the animal module, the digital nutrition module, and the bioenergetic revitalization module, a bundle price of $550, which is probably going to be a little bit more for us since that's euros, and or a little bit less, and then 330 PV. 330 divided by 3 months is 110 PV for those 3 months that you have that particular bundle. Now, there are some people that are really disappointed, as were we. Remember when the digital nutrition bundle said that it was going to be basically $98 or so per month after starting the fourth month. And then, but what they didn't tell us is that was just for the digital nutrition. That doesn't cover the Heal Advisor search app as well. So we had a lot of people with the digital nutrition or the DNC bundle that bought it with a watch thinking, great, this is the great deal. We even pitched that. Gwen and I pitched that. We we're like, this is the great way to do it because you've got all three connect. You've got the connector, watch connector fee, the Heal Advisor search app, and the digital nutrition for $100. What they didn't let us know is that re-upping on the fourth month was only carrying over the digital nutrition app. And Trudy, I think it was in the chat, said, when I went to pay now, my cart was empty and I had to put everything else in my shopping cart, as did I. So I have a watch. So I had to put back into my shopping cart my connector, my Heal Advisor search, and my digital nutrition, which is more than 95, unfortunately. Okay. The digital nutrition, they've changed it. I'm a little disappointed in them because people that needed 50 PV and wanted just one app would have been able to get the digital nutrition. But what they found was that people weren't using all of the individual, like vitamin C and B6 and whatever. They weren't using all the individuals, but what they were using more of was the blends. Now, if you don't have the digital nutrition and you haven't used the blends, highly encourage it. It's amazing. They have a thyroid blend. They have a kidney blend. They have blends for everything. They have a head blend. They have a libido blend. They have all the blends. We don't know exactly what hertz frequencies are contained in those blends, but the blends are really nice. But what happened in that is they switched from individual substances to now everything is blends. So now we have, therefore they've added 24 new mixtures to the digital nutrition subscription and removed the 72 individual substances. So instead of 48 mixtures and 72 substances, digital nutrition now has 72 mixtures, but they've reduced the price, which is great, but they also reduced the PV. So the majority of people who were thinking, well, when it comes to a place where I need to be active and I'm just going to spend the $100 on the digital nutrition and get my 50 PV, are now looking at being 10 PV short for their active status. So they're having to buy, if they want the digital nutrition, that and something else. So we will in the managers meeting be discussing that because that was kind of a little sneaky move on their part. But the nice thing about this is you could, since let me just go to this next page where this gives you all of them, the digital nutrition. If you go into your back office right now and go to the shop, you can get the first month for $95 and the PV is 50. So if that's the only thing you wanted and you want to do that in January, go do it now. And then in February, you can add another subscription or find a customer that wants a subscription. But right now in our back office, in our shop, it's still $95 for the nutrition or the digital nutrition app, and it's still 50 PV. It will change to $67 and 40 PV. The Heal Advisor search module, that's the one where you type in your ailment or your discomfort, whatever issue you're looking at, and then it gives you all the Healy programs that are that would be best benefit for that. That is $33 a month, and it's 20 PV. So even if you got those two, you know, you're back up at that 100, and then you have accessibility to digital nutrition and your Heal Advisor search. The animal subscription is 25 PV and $42 a month after that bundle that you have to get. After the bundle expires, then you'll need to do this. So you could do the digital nutrition and the animal subscription if you only need PV for the rank you are at now, and you'd have 65 PV for a little over $100. The bioenergetic revitalization app or subscription is 25 PV and 48. And then the watch connector, so that you can maintain connection with the cloud and it can read all your stuff and give you what programs you need to run, is 12 PV and $22. So that's kind of the breakout of where we have now. I know they will come up with more subscriptions. They're going to be doing that. They have a lot that they're going to roll out. This is just the beginning. And so what we have to determine right now in our own Healy life is, If we don't feel we can really budget and afford the $100 a month for that 50 PV or the combined to get that, then let us help you figure out how to build your business enough so that it pays for it. And because whatever points you have accumulated from this really nice 10 months of us being able to build, we don't want you to lose that. So we want to make sure that somehow we get you in that loop of active status. And then I'm sure now that we have the need for customers and their subscriptions, I'm sure they will be coming out with a lot more either little commercials or something that we can put out to our people. So our people that might be interested in Healy that maybe won't want to build a business, and that we can offer them those certain things. So that is that presentation. Are there any questions, Gwen, about this now that I have this up?
Well, I was like trying to let you get through it because that's where a lot of questions were. So a few things that I think I should mention, you said it, but maybe you said it quick enough that maybe someone didn't catch it, is if you bought the bundle and you got the 3 months of subscriptions, because I got an email about this also, not just on the chat. So someone sent me an email. So those were considered, like, I know it's not really 3 free months because you paid for it in the bundle, but they're considering that 3 free months, right? So when 3 free months runs out, what's happening is the apps are turning off. Like it happened to me. So my apps were just like not working one day. And at the same time, it happened to other people. And we figured out, oh, the subscription's over. And at that moment in time, there wasn't a payment processor in place to do recurring billing, which they've now fixed. And like Maria said, but she kind of went over it really quickly, is in the back office. Maybe you can pull up the back office, Maria, because someone else is telling me they can't get into the support call part of the back office, and maybe they just don't know where it is. But there is maybe 3 things that Maria can show in the back office since she's on her computer. One is, well, I don't know if I've never heard of anyone not being able to get into a support ticket. The other one is how to activate your Healy if you got it and it wasn't activated, but I think most people know that by now. And the third one is to pay for the subscription if your bundle expired and now you want the subscriptions to go on monthly. And yeah, they do bill monthly, like they do have your credit card on file. They'll do recurring billing. So maybe if you can show those 3 things, it would answer the rest of the questions.
Okay, so here is a back office, and I'm just going to click on shop. And then I'm going to go down here to subscriptions. Now she doesn't have any, I don't have mine up, but this is where it will, because she doesn't have one. Pick the wrong person. You don't have any subscriptions. So if you did, it would say view and pay, and then it will take you back. Now see how this keeps logging me out? This happens to me all the time. This is my easy fix. I go up here to this arrow, back arrow. I click left and hold. So I'm clicking my mouse left and I'm holding it. See how it brings up everything that my history? Then I'm just going down to the last one and clicking it, and it'll take me back in. Sometimes that's an easier way to get back into the back office. So let me try this again. I'm going to go to shop and click subscriptions. And if she had a subscription, it would be right here. And there would be a view and a pay button. If you already have subscriptions that have expired, it will say view and pay. When you click the pay button, you are expecting that it will just bring up a credit card screen for you to reinstall or re-up your subscriptions. Doesn't do that right now. It just tells you your cart is empty and you need to go back and shop. So you have to go back to shop. Let's see if it'll keep me plugged in here. Okay. So if I scroll down here, so here is the digital nutrition monthly with my tax. It's 101.77. Remember, whatever shows up in your back office is the tax of this person. It's not my tax, the tax of this person. So I think this is Minnesota. 2357 for the watch connector. Remember, that's how keeping the watch, allowing it to connect to the cloud to tell you what programs you need to run. Here is the Heal Advisor search module for 35. Now, the bad thing about this is they don't put your PV They don't list the PV. It would be really nice if they just put a little, parentheses here. Hey, this is this PV. Here is that Heal Advisor Animal Bundle for 180 and 51 a month. That'll be spread out. That's that $16. But then after that, now you have to go buy the animal subscription. Here's the Heal Advisor First Class. So this has all of the different, if I click on this, it'll tell us what it has in there. So this is just a bigger bundle. This is kind of like getting that watch bundle where you have the search, the Heal Advisor, digital nutrition, the bioenergetics. So you kind of get everything. But then I highly doubt, I don't know, it's possible that 220 is all of those put together. So if you have 48 plus 42, oh, not the decimal point though, Maria, plus 42 plus the 67, because that will be the new one. And then the Heal Advisor Search is 33. That's 190. So similar, it could be. That could be what the price will be afterwards, after the 3 months is up, and on the 4th month, they have to go in and purchase. Okay, so let me click back. And then here is the bioenergetic revitalization module. This is 25 PV. This person in Minnesota, it's going to be 5142 for her zip code, her billing address. That's 25 PV. Here's the Heal Advisor Animal Module. That's 5142, and that's going to be also 25 PV. So if you could get those two, $100-ish, a little over $100 per month, and you would have your 50 PV. So, I mean, there is ways to spread it out. It's just a little discouraging that digital nutrition didn't stay at 50 PV for me. Personally, that was my own little thing. I'll get over it. And then here is the DNC bundle. That's the 143. This is more accurate now. I think they had enough people that were a little stymied over the fact that now all of a sudden that $93 or $100 wasn't accurate anymore. So this probably includes the digital or the Heal Advisor Search and the Watch Connector fee as well. Okay. And then there's the connector bundle that you get for just those two.
Maria, can I ask a question right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so Joey is asking, I'm not sure because I thought this only had to do with the initial bundles, but she's saying she got charged 160 for the subscription for the DNA, which just the DNA alone wasn't 100, I don't think, but she's saying I got charged $100.60 for my subscription automatically and my DNA account is expired. I'm confused. I think what might have happened with her is she paid $100 when she signed up and then they didn't have the payment processor in place. And now she might have to go back in manually to set that up. Is that right?
That's what happened to me. So all of my subscriptions were just done and I had to go in and reload my shopping cart and purchase all of my subscriptions again. So I did purchase the Healy Watch Connector bundle, the digital nutrition, and the connector fee. I had to redo all that. And then I added the revitalization module. Okay.
And then, yeah, that's what I thought. I think that she got caught in the middle of them not having the payment processor set up. So the 100 was probably for the first month and then off after that.
However, Joey, if you feel like you got charged more than, for consecutive months, whatever, please put in a support ticket because they will either refund you or extend out your subscriptions. That happened to Vanessa.
Okay. And then a question, well, that might have to do with Naima too, because she had a question. Oh, okay. So another question with Trudy. And Maria and I talked about this on the phone, so I'm going to tell you what our thought was. Trudy said, bummer on the individual vitamins. It was a good seller. If you get the blend, apparently you only receive the frequencies you need. I want to respond to this question without trying to type it up. So first of all, what Maria and I were observing and what we were actually going to work towards was more education on the individual nutrition. And then when they changed it, we were like, okay, never mind. But the thing is, most people didn't know which ones to pick. So you had all these choices and you didn't know that you needed phenylalanine or cysteine or whatever. I mean, how would you know unless you had some very comprehensive blood work done by like SpectraCell or somebody. or if it showed up under your watch apps, if you have the watch. And so I kind of get why they did that. And if you have like a general category like nutrition for hormones or nutrition for something, at least there's a better chance that you're going to know what to run. Having to do with, are you going to receive the frequencies you need? I think the body is only going to use the frequencies you need. I don't think that if you have this whole panel, you know, the one thing about it is you don't know exactly what you're getting if you pick something that's a blend. But I don't think the body, I mean, the way the body works with the frequencies and also homeopathy, it's just not going to use what it doesn't need. So I think that anyway, that's true. And you'll know from using it. But my personal opinion about the digital nutrition, even though I did think it was really awesome, I barely ever used the single nutrients.
I only used the blend pages. Unless I just knew I needed B5 or whatever for my adrenals. So that's why you and I are going to work on, okay, we got to figure out how to help people with these 72 substances that are sitting there as part of their digital nutrition. How do we help them use it? But now that we have blends, we're still going to do something similar, because if you come up with connective tissue in your meridians, it would be really nice to know what digital nutrition blend would be of assistance for you. So we're still going to work up something to help, because, you know, nutrition can be a little elusive. But I rarely use the digital nutrition, just like Gwen said, but I have used the blends a lot and I really like them. So that was why I was glad they were at least keeping them.
Yeah, and I think that if I used a single, it was because it showed up on the watch and I was like clicking on it and going to it. So I guess that's going to connect differently on the watch. We'll see. Okay. And then another question, and this is another good question that people ask a lot. So just from Trudy again, just to be clear, you must have the Advisor app to have the DNA subscription. And no, you do not. Those are two different apps.
Yeah, these are independent. So here's the Heal Advisor search module. You can have that completely independent. That could be the only subscription you own. And you've got customers providing the other PV. This is this one is 20 PV right here, the search, but you can have any of these together. Now, I don't see, well, like here, this one has the digital nutrition lit up, and then I don't know what this, let me see if it shows it in this picture. Am I going there? Yeah, it'll look at how this one's grayed out. So this is just showing that the digital nutrition app is active, but this particular individual has not purchased the Heal Advisor search app. When they do, for $33-ish a month, then this will be lit up too, and they'll be able to access both. And that's exactly what's happening with all of those subscriptions, is that you scroll down the screen and it shows what you have lit up. On mine now, I have the bioenergetic revitalization, and then either below it or under it is the animal, but the animal is grayed out, opaque like this. So I can't click on it because I haven't purchased that one. But the minute I do, they flip a switch in the back end, however that works. And all of a sudden I have an update. Now I have access to that particular subscription if I choose it.
Yeah. And what happens is if you buy the watch bundle, you do get those two, the DNA. So you can buy them individually or you can buy them as part of the bundle. I don't know if the bundle options are going to change or not.
Well, and the bundle, what we have to remember is the bundle is only good for that 3 months. And then after that, we have to make sure that we go in and either fill our shopping cart again, or they may hopefully make it so that all we have to do is hit the pay button, and it will allow us to just re-up our credit card for what we know we like.
Yeah. Okay. And then Lynn and one other person had said, how do we watch this again? Like, because they're like, need to watch again, and they're on the call. So it's going to, in the very beginning of the call, I said, all these are going to YouTube now. The Gwen and Maria show on YouTube. Look, it's in the last email newsletter I sent. The link
right here. If you go to YouTube and you click in just Gwen and Maria 2020, you'll see the little Healy symbol. Click on it and it brings you to this page. It brings you to this page here. And then you can click on videos. So see, there's the Tuesday night, December 8th. There's, all of these are here, but if you click on videos, then we have, and we're going to keep adding.
Yeah. And please do not send me an email asking me for tonight's recording, because I'm going to ignore you. Put them on YouTube. And so I don't want to get 100 emails asking me for tonight's recording, because it's going to be an automated process. Now they're going to be on YouTube within a day or two of the live calls. Okay. So someone else, Marilyn asked, can we touch base on the revitalization module? Good, not so good compared to Advisor Watch. My opinion is I'm going to be doing DNA advisor and pet. I'm not going to do revitalization because I feel like within Healy, there's already plenty in that topic. If someone has it, uses it, loves it, and I think, wow, and it might change my mind, but my 3 are going to be DNA advisor and pet. Maria, I mean, have you heard anything different?
Well, what I did was I switched out my Heal Advisor search app where you can type in your ailment for the revitalization, because the revitalization touches on a lot of different issues in the body. And you can click on it and it'll tell you what apps to run. So it's kind of like I mean, there's a few other options to it. I haven't really delved into it as much yet, but probably by next week's call, I'll have played around with it a little bit more. I just got it. But that's one thing that I did notice is that, you know, you can click on all kinds of different things, thyroid issues, liver issues, heart issues, weight issues, whatever, and it'll just take you to some of the stuff that you need to use. So.
Okay, so several people are saying they have digital nutrition and they're still seeing all the substances and all that. Didn't actually go investigate. Well, mine was up a while ago and I didn't even check. What's happened? Do you know, Maria, when it's flipping to the new?
They didn't give us a date on when it will switch from the 72 substances to the 72 blends. They didn't give us a date yet on when it will switch from $95 to $67. So I would say if you only want digital nutrition for your first month and you need to acquire your PV, go in tonight and purchase it so that you can have $101 or whatever it ends up with your tax. This person is in, where is it down here?
Are we sure it's going to still be 72 to 72? That seems like it would be less as far as blends go.
That's what I pulled from there. Let me go back real quick and look at my PowerPoint because that's what it said.
Well, better then, because that means you're getting more.
You're getting a lot. Yeah. So it says, I'm just going to read it. I know it's not on your screen. It says, our user analysis has revealed that mixtures are being used much more frequently than specific substances due to their ease of use. Therefore, we have added 24 new mixtures to the digital nutrition subscription and removed the 72 individual substances. So instead of 48 mixtures and 72 individual substances, digital nutrition now includes 72 mixtures for the reduced price of 67, this says euros, and 40 PV. It is not like that in, well, I'm, you know, just looking at this particular, when we look here, you know, this is still, if I go in, let's see, will it show me? It won't show me, but it's not $67. This is still at the 95 rate. This person happens to have a Minnesota address. So her tax is 101.77 for that monthly fee. So it hasn't been changed yet. I don't know when that will happen.
Okay, and people are still asking us, do we know more about revitalization? Maria and I don't have it. Someone's saying Vanessa loves it. If Vanessa,
I have it. I just haven't gone through it yet. I will know more by next week. Maybe I can show it next week.
Okay, I didn't know you bought it. Okay, so yeah, maybe, or someone like if Vanessa loves it, maybe if she's on a call in the next week or two, sometimes she pops on, she can share why she loves it. I don't know anyone that has it. No one's told me they love it, so I don't know. Annette is saying, I heard they're placing all subscriptions, I guess that means replacing, on a new separate app. True or false? I don't have any idea. Do you know, Maria?
Read that again. They're replacing?
I heard they're placing all subscriptions on a new separate app. True or false?
Haven't heard that. I don't know what that would mean because we would still need it in our shopping cart. So I'm not sure. All subscriptions on a new app, maybe like a whole bundle. I don't know.
Maybe. And then Bonnie says something I also want to clarify because it's kind of a mixed question. So she said, this goes back to the 95 versus 67. She's saying, I'm seeing 95 a month for the Healy Advisor DN. I think that means DNA.
Digital nutrition.
I thought you said something about 67. Okay, we're talking about two different things. The Advisor with DNA is 2 apps bundled together. What Maria was talking about, I think, was digital nutrition, but can you answer that? Because I'm even confused. So digital nutrition Advisor together, bundled together, was like 95 plus tax.
Okay, so this is what we were pitching way back when, is we were pitching this DNSC bundle. That was the watch that included this connector fee, the search advisor, the connector watch fee, which is here, and the digital nutrition. So this one and the connector and the search were all included with your watch in this bundle. It did say $95 a month, and we thought, with bad information, unfortunately, we thought that that $95 would include all 3 of these apps once the 3 months was over, and that you could just re-up and you would get your 50 PV on the digital nutrition, you'd get your $20 on the Heal Advisor search, and your 12 points on your connector fee. So you'd have all the points you needed at $95. What they failed to tell us is that they were only looking at having you renew the digital nutrition, which doesn't make any sense. But again, you know, Healy startup, that's where we're at, an obstacle. So this included all of those. Okay, but you can buy all of these apps individual. You don't have to have all of them together. Right now in your back office, digital nutrition, which is about to change, digital nutrition is 48 mixtures and 72 substances. It will change to 72 mixtures or blends, and there won't be any individuals. The reduced price will be $67 plus tax, but the PV is going from 50 down to 40. We're not seeing it here in our back office yet. So again, if you need to be active this month, go in and buy that. If you want the digital nutrition and you just want one app, go in and buy this one because it's 50 PV and it's 95 before your tax. That will change. They haven't let us know when. The newsletter didn't say when.
Okay, so
They just
hopefully
said it's coming. Did that make sense then, the way I explained it?
it does. And
Okay.
some people are talk more about this on a future call. I think we're caught up on the questions and we're almost at 7 o'clock. If anyone has another like pressing question that we haven't addressed, maybe you can just unmute yourself. We have about 10 minutes left.
Gwen,
Yes.
I got the bundle, and I think what that one person was talking about having one app that has all the new things. I think it shows up in your Heal Advisor, like that Heal Advisor app. That's where all my other things show up, the animal and the revitalization. So I think that's what she meant.
But they're all on one page, right? They're all, okay, I get it. They're all in the Swoosh app. That's probably what she meant. You have to download the Swoosh app to have access to all of these different subscriptions.
I think so. And then you go to your pink dot to run certain ones, and you know.
Thank you, Chris, for that. Yes, that's probably exactly what she meant. Yeah. Okay. You go to the Swoosh app and and then for people, let's see, let me go here, go to your device. Let me click on this and go to getting started. It's this Swoosh app right here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. So when you get your subscription, and it becomes active in your back, then you're going to need to download this one in your either App Store or the Play Store. This one is specifically for the watch. This is all the subscriptions.
I think that helps. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think I skipped any. So Annette says yes on Swoosh.
Gwen, I have a quick question. Could you please tell me which iPhone that you have, which model? I need to get a new one. And I was just curious what you have.
Yeah, let me just go to my settings screen and tell you. I think it's an 11 plus. I think that's what this is called.
Okay. You don't have anything that has the 5G in it.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I bought this phone since Healy came out because my other phone was older and it was acting glitchy.
It'll have 5G if it's the 11, I think.
I don't think it's till 12. That's why I was concerned.
I think this is the 11. It's called the 11 plus. Let me look under.
Okay.
So it says it's an 11 Pro.
Okay.
And it doesn't say 5G anywhere on the main about page. I'm not sure about that part, but it is a 11 Pro, which has the bigger screen and the better camera, supposedly.
Are you concerned about having 5G?
Well, okay, I'm gonna tell you what I found out when I was in Boulder last. You know, whether your device is a 5G or not, we're gonna be bombarded by it, and it's already everywhere. I had a guy at the retreat that's kind of a mountain man guy, you know, kind of hiking the woods, natural dude. And he said he was hiking a very rural area of Colorado where there was no housing, no nothing. And he saw 5G transponders about every 30 feet attached to the trees. Now, I mean, I know it's in the cities already. I know it's in the cell towers already. I know there's special cell towers and they have to be closer together than the old cell towers. But what he told me was they were gridding the entire United States so that the rural areas had 5G, everybody had 5G. If that's true, what he told me, and I have no reason not to believe him, then your device, I mean, you're going to be surrounded by it. Your device that you're actually holding in your hand is not going to really matter because it's going to be on both sides of your house. The cell towers are going to be surrounding you. The transponders, he said, had to be, I think he said every 30 feet, and then they had branches cleared for 6 feet. And this is in the middle of rural Colorado. So, you know, I'm sure that I'm not saying it's great, go get a 5G device. I'm just saying, don't kid yourself that you're protected because you don't have a 5G device.
Right. I'm just wondering if Healy will come out with something to protect us. I hope.
They have they've alluded to that.
Okay.
And there's
I
already
have the latest iPhone and
it
does have 5G. I have the Pro Max, I think it is, and then the 12. So there's like one that's real big and then the smaller one that's 12. I have both of them and they're both 5G.
And are you using anything for protection? I know
I have a question that's maybe not exactly related.
Yes, I wear this jewelry and I also run my Healy on the protection program. So
thank you.
I do both. Okay.
Gwen, can I just ask, this is Darcy, can I just ask very quickly, when I try to do this on my iPad to see if it's my phone, do I need to somehow get the master key over onto the iPad?
Hold on a second. My doggie's just having a little thing from drinking water wrong. If you're going to use it, you can use it over there, you know, without importing the master key. But if you want to have your client data that you already have on your phone, you're going to have to move that master key over.
Okay. Okay, but I could at least test the thing without having to move the master key. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to move the master key to test it. You can import it or not. And I think I've done it. You can bypass it without having to load it, but then your clients aren't there or your people are not there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I have a quick question. This is Daylight. If I were wanting to gift or sell my watch, do I need to go through the back office and have the information changed over to their ID? Is that what happens?
Yeah. Hold on. Maria, can you take that? I'm going to have to deal with Eddie real quick.
I can. Let's send Eddie some good juju.
Water and it went down the wrong pipe. So I got to
so he's coughing. I've done that before. Okay. So the watch doesn't necessarily require anything except to turn on and it's going to do its job. It by itself, it's just a Fitbit. It's glorified Fitbit. What needs to happen is if you want to sell your watch, the other person, and they want to use it as a Healy watch, they will then go into as a customer. Now, this would be good if this is a customer you're selling it to, because they would want to go in and they would want to get this connector. They would want to get the watch connector module for $23 a month. And then that will allow them then to, and that again, they have to have a Healy that will allow them to run the watch. The watch doesn't need to be turned over, but they will have to do the connector fee. And then what they'll do is they will put in the serial number of the watch when they're ordering their connector fee.
Okay, great. So they have to have a Healy, so at a minimum a gold. At a minimum.
Well, yeah, because they're going to want to deliver
Right,
anything that the
right.
watch brings to them as far as information. They're going to want to run it. So at least the gold, yes.
If they didn't have the gold, would it operate everything except directing what programs to run?
Yeah, the watch will pick up all your stuff, all your data, and you can collect it there. You are limited to what you can see on your watch screen. Because if you don't have the connector fee or the connector subscription,
yeah,
it doesn't connect to your phone.
Yeah, so you need if you just had the connector fee and the watch, but no Healy.
Yeah, you could definitely use it as a glorified Fitbit. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it could track everything. You just won't be able to utilize any of the programs that Healy's recommending for you.
Right. Okay, thanks.
And that's how I'm using my watch now anyway, is I'm not wearing it all day long. I just once a week put it on. I do the 7.5 minute heart rate variability, and then it shows me what programs I should run for the week. So then I just incorporate those into what I'm doing already.
Great, thank you.
You bet. Okay, so the one thing that we did,
will you all be doing any training on how to sign up customers?
So
decide about.
I know it's a little tricky.
So I had some inspiration a couple nights ago, and I'm deciding whether I really want to commit, but it sounds like I probably need to. Once a week, Minutes with Maria, where we're literally going to talk about just business. Because a lot of times on these calls, people that get on, they just want to know how to run their Healy. They don't really care about anything else at this point. They just want their Healy to run. How do I get through the technical stuff? So that's what we've sort of devoted a lot of our Tuesday nights to. So I'm looking at, I got to figure out the grandson because I'm with him a lot, but I'm thinking about doing Minutes with Maria and literally have an hour or two once a week where we just talk about the binary system, helping people sign up people, help people figure out their points, what they're looking at. Because again, they're until they come out with a really strong academy to help people through that, we don't have it. We don't have that. And if people are going to need to budget this new PV to stay active so that their points don't wash and they don't lose everything they've already built or that's been being built for them, then people are going to need to know, how do I build my business? So I feel like we really need to focus on that. I would love feedback at Gwen and Maria 2020 at Gmail or 100-777 ohms at Gmail. If you think that that's something that you would utilize. Okay, so the only other thing that we might want to look at before we jump off is the results are typical. Now, Gwen said that I did a new website. This is my website now, and I am revamping a new one because this website was hacked. And it now sends you, sometimes if you go to search, to some Viagra sites. So I'm revamping that. But if you go here, I promise I'm not selling enlargements and Viagra. I'm not. So if you see that, just know that's not Maria. But if you go to the buy now and you click on that, and then you come to, I don't know where I'm getting echo. But right now, then you go to Gwen and Maria, and that's where we have our workshops for sale and our Attract Abundance. So if you want to be part of that. And my husband slipped and fell down the stairs and hit his ribs on the banister and bunged his knee up and his hand up really good. So that has put me working at the office by myself, and I have not got the new Prosperity out yet, but it's coming out tonight or tomorrow morning. So I promise it's coming for the Prosperity people. I had a little bit of a setback because now I was doing everything. So anyway, if you want to send some healing his way, I'm sure he'd appreciate it. But this is where you go to click on, and then purchase. Okay, is there anything else, Gwen, that we need to cover?
Just if it's not obvious right there that it's not just that, but maybe the workshops too. I mean, it's all on the same website, but you would just want to say how to get to that.
Yeah, so it's just resultsaretypical.com. And then when you go to buy now up here, click on that. Eventually there'll be on the new website, it'll say Gwen and Maria, but you just buy now, click the cart. I mean, just follow the basic. And then you can click on Gwen and Maria right here, either here or here. And then even if you scroll down, you'll see where it has like the advanced workshop. And then you just add it to the bag. What happens when you add it to the bag is that you will get a link automatically from Equid or authorized.net, and you'll have 72 hours to download all of those files to your computer or your device.
Awesome job, Maria.
Thanks. I can't wait for the new website. We have a really nice looking page, and I was going to try to have it up here, but I couldn't get all the stuff. I couldn't get it all worked out before the call, but hopefully by next week, we will have a new results are typical.site, and we have our own page, which is really cool. So anyway, hopefully that's it. Is there anybody that has any more questions before we jump off this call?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm Terry Gurney. On
Hi,
my
Terry.
back office, it has an important notice. It says each month, the collection of points starts again at 0. However, you keep the carryover from the previous month for your right and left leg. As 2020 turned into 2021, the December points were not deducted from the point count for January. We will correct this in the next few days. Your unaccounted points will remain. We apologize for the inconvenience. And then let me see my chat. For some reason, I can write my chat, but it won't send. When I looked underneath my subscriptions, it says my subscriptions say next payment is January 23rd. And under the actions, it says cancel, change payment, or renew. I got the DNA, the watch bundle.
What happens when you click renew? Have you tried clicking that?
I did not try clicking it yet.
Because that would be awesome. I'm wondering if you don't allow it to lapse, if you just click renew, if it automatically loads your cart. That would be awesome.
Okay, let me try it.
And I really wish this would say each month the collection of points starts again at 0 on your weakest leg. I wish that they would be a little bit more clear in what they're saying, because then it says, however, you keep your carryover points from the previous month for your right and left leg. Well, whichever one had more points, remember if you've got 10,000 on one leg and 5,000 on the other, they're going to pay you for the 5,000, subtract it from this leg, and then the 5,000 carries up. So you have 0 on this leg, 5,000 on this one moving forward if you're active. So again, I think there's a lot lost in translation, and I really hope they get clearer in their ability to translate what they're really trying to say to us. We kind of have to read between the lines a little bit still. So, okay. Did that make sense, Terry?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you just checking on that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't do your thing on my phone, so I have to put everything back in.
While she's looking really quick, remember with your support center here, if you decide you want to put in a ticket, they keep changing these two, which I'm thankful for, which means that they're, starting to redirect. See, this is taking me to that shop again, which is so frustrating. Because right up here, it says it's taking me to the shop. I don't want to go to the shop. I want to go to my subscriptions. I'm going to let it fill. I'll close out some of these. Okay, well, it's not going to load, but I'm just going to go back and hit this. Okay, so now if I go to support center, see, this is the kind of stuff that we need training for. So that's what I kind of feel like an hour or 2 a week would be really helpful for. Okay, so let me move this down. Oh, and it did it again. Gosh darn it. There's sometimes the internet for me, different areas of the country, it seems like it just, okay, so Here's a couple of cases for this. This is the one where they corrected the email, so it was closed out. So if I want to submit a new case for something, these are the things that they keep changing as soon as it loads. God bless you.
Thank you.
So if you, so first you would do the topic here, choose, and then you would go either your account, you need something different, like that gal, her email was typed in wrong. You need to change something with your account, your, then I don't think they're doing usernames yet, but I think eventually they'll be doing that. Commission, you've noticed that something's wrong with your commission or you haven't received it. I think feedback is kind of funny because when are they going to answer that? Orders based on, if you placed an order and you're wondering where it's at, that kind of thing. Your organization, you put somebody under the wrong person, your customer didn't show up under you, your customer is, orphaned to the company. Your products, you purchased a Healy. So let's click on one of these and then you get the secondary. So then you have all these options and they do keep changing all of these. I haven't updated ATP 123 on it because they keep changing and adding, which says to me, first off, they're listening to what we need, but also that they're getting a little tighter in honing in on directing these particular things instead of just a basic Healy. They're actually saying, okay, it's these issues having to do with my product. So I'm really excited that they're starting to expand, hone in on exactly what we need. They're listening to us. So like here, feature upgrades, features not activated. If you've got issues and they're not activated, Dana, I think that's probably where I don't know if that's where you went, but that's where I would go. All of a sudden, boom, I bought digital nutrition and now all of my other stuff is deactivated. So anyway, so that's what you want to do with that. And just, scroll through all of them and just kind of familiarize yourself. Just because you're clicking buttons doesn't mean you're submitting a ticket. But it's nice to look and see what to do. Okay.
Okay, I found it.
Okay. What does it say?
Okay, it says Heal Advisor Digital Nutrition Module Bundle. And then it's got the serial number and it's $108.79 a month. And I'm in Kansas. And it says payment. It says the new, I'm assuming it's the new one. It says via credit card, Power Pay 21 USA, total 101.57 a month. And then include that, $722. And then at the bottom, it says by renewing your subscription early, your next payment will be the February 23rd.
Okay, so go back up and say what it's for. Does it say it's only for the nutrition, the digital nutrition? Does it say actually the bundle?
Heal Advisor Digital Nutrition Module, in parentheses, bundle.
Wow. So because I let mine lapse, instead of going in and doing it sooner, I wonder if they're allowing that price to go through. So when does yours expire?
Right at the moment, January 23rd.
I would go in before that and hit that renew button and see if you get all of them.
February 23rd would be my next payment then.
Right. Okay. Yeah, keep us posted on that. That would be nice to know, because then if that is the case, then we were right in talking about that initially, saying, yay, this is the way to go. And then I just let mine, I just wasn't paying attention. It was December 30th and I just wasn't paying attention and I allowed it to lapse.
Well, some of us, though, didn't have a choice in letting it lapse. It lapsed and we didn't know it was going to lapse.
This is true. You're right. You thought it was just going to maintain. I at least knew and just didn't do it.
Well, that little message, when you originally bought that, the little message came up and told you it was going to auto renew. That message came up even when you weren't getting an app, when you any purchase. And so when you thought it was going to auto renew, some of us didn't know it didn't auto renew until it just didn't work.
Right. That's true. Thinking that was going to auto renew based on the credit card you put in.
Yeah. And I don't know how to resolve that because we didn't even really know how the payment processing was going to happen until it already happened or didn't happen.
And for those of us, it's moot now because we don't want to buy another watch. We don't want to buy a watch bundle now.
Now, the way mine worked, which was interesting, is mine, like you were saying, Gwen, we didn't know. So it stopped, working. And then they kept talking about in our meetings on Wednesdays, hey, it's, just be patient. It's a new charging method, whatever, blah, blah, it's going to happen. Send your email to this particular subscription's email. Well, I did that, didn't hear anything. And then eventually I got an email and everything started working. I never had to give them my credit card information or anything. And mine's all working again. I still have the individuals, but in my back office, it says I can, if I renew mine, it would be up until March and I'm paying $100.
Yeah, I agree with you. That seems to be what I've heard too. Some people it treated differently than other people. And I don't know if it's because of, like, I was one of the first people, I think, to get the apps, you know, because I had apps probably before most people I knew. And I don't know if I got caught in a middle of, they didn't know what they were going to do. And then 2 weeks later, they knew what they were going to do. And so they treated those differently. I really don't know what the difference was, because I've heard that too. And I've heard it's been handled like 3 different ways. But I think it depends on when your thing renewed and if they had whatever worked out or not by then.
So that just makes me wonder then, if they're charging, I guess, the $100, and if I keep that bundle, am I still going to have the 50 points volume on it, the PB?
Well,
Or
even if they,
40.
even if they changed it, you'd have 72. If they kept everything, if you had the watch connector, the search, well, even if you didn't have the search on there, you'd still have 60. Even if they change it to 40 points for the digital nutrition, and you'd still have 20 points for the Heal Advisor search.
But wouldn't, if the points change, Maria, and they make that a hard thing, you know, in writing, wouldn't that not matter? Wouldn't the points be the same if you have whichever app? I mean, it seems like they don't have it all worked out yet, but it seems like to me, if they say the digital nutrition app is this many points, it should be that many points, whether, because they didn't distinguish between it being bundled or not either, did they?
No, and that's the issue too, is that they haven't set a time, and they haven't set a hard, like, this is the day it's going to change. So Twilight Zone of Healy, welcome to our world.
Absolutely.
Got to keep our humor. Got to keep our humor.
Yep, just roll with it.
Just
Thanks,
roll with
guys.
it. That's it. And
There's
there's probably
some leadership meeting coming up, correct?
The leadership meeting, I think Vanessa said it was next Tuesday. Let me see if she answered me real quick.
Oh, it's after the meeting. It's after our Zoom call.
Yes, it's after ours. So we'll have to send out something, or I don't want to wait till that following.
Well, we
Yeah.
might have,
I was
we'll
thinking
have
about
more
needing to
information
do
that
this.
some of that, Maria, we can send out by email if we have some announcements. They don't have to wait till the following week, because we'll have more information from that call. Well,
Or
maybe.
we could make next week's well, that would be hard to change, but because a lot of people would be here Tuesday, but we could make our next week call on Wednesday night.
I can announce it that way. I'm fine with switching it.
That would give us a lot more, you know, we'd have a lot more information, and that might be the better way to handle it too. I don't know. Let's talk with Vanessa and make sure maybe we can get some clarification before you actually change everything.
Okay,
We'll let
Well, it'd be
everybody
nice
know by
to know.
email.
It'd be nice to know that we'll have actual answers instead of just discussing what we're discussing tonight. If there's answers, it makes sense. Like,
Right.
if we'll get the answers to these same questions.
And we have the corporate call tomorrow, so we might have some information then too. So we will keep you all posted on what that looks like for next week, and try to shed as much information as we can in the meantime. So, all right, I need to have a hard stop. So I'm going to let all of you go. And thank you so much for being here tonight. Email us if you need anything. And don't ask for the Zoom call. It's going to be on YouTube. Don't ask Gwen, because she's not going to answer you.
Don't ask me. It took so much time to get those on YouTube, which is what everybody was asking for, and it never fails. Somebody's going to say, hey, I wasn't on the call, or I was on the call. Can I have the recording? Because they're not maybe looking at the newsletter. But I appreciate you guys. I hope you had a nice holiday, and we're going to keep delivering news, whether it's good or bad. Like this.
And we're going to turn it into good. We're going to turn it into good.
We're the messengers, because sometimes you need a messenger. You need to be able to ask questions, and we know that. So Anyway, we appreciate you guys. And if we change it to Wednesday, you'll know it's because of the leadership call, and we'll have more information, or we'll do the call Tuesday, depending on what time that leadership call is. And then we'll send out an update by newsletter.
Okay. Joanne, yes, if you purchase the DNA right now, it will show $95 or before your tax, and it will show 50 PV. I doubt they will change it mid-month, but next month it may change. So just keep that in mind. May have changed by then. Okay. Love you all.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good
Thank
night,
you very
everyone.
much.
You bet.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Bye.